Maybe we should go back! No! No, we've come too far!
Thought this might be of interest to you.
The Ark. Real page turner.
Just read it. Let me know what you think.
Dad, isn't this the type of thing that got you kicked out of Virginia Tech?
Jehovah is God.
Ah, Noah.
And he is bringing his judgment to the earth. He's covering it completely with a flood. He commanded me to build this ship. Man, look at me, Noah. You know that. Maybe we should go back. Get out of here. Jimmy! I feel so lost.
We are not lost. We are together.
I could end up in a wheelchair in a year or so. I could get so bad that I can't provide for you or raise kids.
When I met you, I believed in you. And then because of who you are and how you are, I believed in Jehovah.
So if God has given you the grace to get this far, then he will give us the grace to make this work.
There it is. So, if it's up there and we find it,
Yeah?
what happens then?
We changed the world.
Well, there it is. Hey guys, it's Benjamin Dane here. I play Noah in the new upcoming epic streaming series Struck. And so I am so excited that Struck Live is here. We come to you guys once a month and we tell you a little bit about what's going on, the latest developments, and we talk to someone very special with our lives. And I'm excited today because today we're talking to Cameron Arnett. Cameron is this amazing actor that I have the privilege of working with. As I play Noah, Cameron plays Asa, and Asa is kind of like this, I don't know, he's my nemesis. He's my frenemy. We grew up together, but yet times change. And he's a great character. So I cannot wait to talk to you guys live with Cameron and a little bit more about the dynamic between Noah and Asa, and also about his career. He's got this great film coming up called The Forge, and it releases in August in theaters by the Kendrick brothers. So it's his, I believe it's the second time he's worked with the Kendrick brothers. So it's very exciting. They're not releasing too much, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And then listen, so I want to tell you guys, we're going to do something special today. We're going to release a scene, a never before released full scene from the series where Asa and Noah kind of butt heads. It's a really wonderful scene. I think you're going to really enjoy it. And we're going to show it to you kind of at a different point of view, because the scene is not finished yet. So we're going to show you a little insight. We're going to pull back the curtains and show you a little insight here, because the green screen is still there and you kind of get to see it before. It's a special preview glimpse before it's all put together and all the backgrounds are added. So you get to see that. But I'm telling you, you guys, it is an amazing, amazing scene. I cannot wait to share it with you. And then you want to stick also with us until the very end, because I've got a very special announcement, a new contest that you guys are going to really enjoy. It's very special, very fun, and I think you're going to enjoy that. So stay tuned after the interview. After I talk with Cameron, we're going to go through that. And let me just tell you a little bit. Now, you can go to the strucktheseries.com and find out all information. You saw the 2-minute version of a trailer, but we actually have a 5-minute proof of concept there at strucktheseries.com that you can see. You can also go through, see the cast, see the team members, a lot of information there. And it's kind of a free website because we're working on a larger website, but at least you kind of get to see a little bit more into the series, see the concept video. You also can, what I love is that you can see the a little bit more about who and what and how we're doing Struck, but also there is a Lightning Club member we want you to enjoy and click and become a member, because the Lightning Club gives you free access. Once a month, we send out a communique, and that gives you the latest news on Struck. You also have special private screenings, and a lot of things are released to the Lightning Club members before it's released to the public. So you want to make sure you become a Lightning Club member ASAP. And we're not going to bug you. We just once a month we send out a communique, and that's going to be a really special thing for you guys. And then we'll have special contests too that are only for the Lightning Club members. So do that, and you get the Lightning Bolt, which is our communique, every single month. And then also just please join us on all of our socials. We want you to join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We now have 2 YouTube channels that you can look and see our videos. So that's a great thing that we just added. And also make sure you go to the site, and I'll talk a little bit more about the merchandise later, but we've got Struck gear. And so the cool thing is we've got 2 different collections now, 2 different ones. We've got Struck by God, which I'm kind of wearing the t-shirt now. You can see that. And we also have the new collection, No More Rock Monsters. It's a fun take on the Noah that was done before. So you can kind of see that. It's really fun. And what the cool thing is that you make a statement of faith when you wear all of these things. I mean, there's t-shirts and hoodies and mugs, and there's also long sleeve tees and bags and all kinds of stuff, embroidered caps. I mean, it's really great. But the cool thing is you make a statement of faith, so you also help the series, because all proceeds for all the sales of the gear go to developing the series. So you're helping us get the series off the ground and in and throughout the world. So let me tell you, so we have got, as I said, we've got Cameron here, and he's waiting in the wings. I cannot wait to tell you a little bit more about him. I met Cameron a few years back, and I saw one of his films and was just enamored with his talent and his ability to really capture the character. He's Haitian born, and he's an actor. He's a speaker. He is a teacher. He does so much, and he's just not, I mean, a lot of times people think, well, you're an actor, that's all you do. But no, Cameron likes to be involved, and he's involved in so many things. And I love that. But you probably saw him. He carved out a niche early on in the 80s and 90s. And let me just read this really quick. So Mr. Arnett will be starring, as I said, in the upcoming Kendrick's Brothers film, The Forge, set to release in August of this year. But other recent projects include Unfailing Love, for which he won a 2023 Best Actor Award at the Christian Family Film Festival, The Perfect Christmas, The Great Turkey Town Miracle, and Nefarious. And I just watched Nefarious for the 3rd time, seriously, last night. I wanted my mom to see it, and I love that film. So I want to talk to him a little bit about Nefarious. And he can also be seen in Eleanor's Bench as a series on PureFlix, Running the Bases, Movie Guide's 2023 Faith and Freedom Award winner, Saved by Grace, Vindication, Angels Unaware, and Making Him Famous. And there's so many others, you guys. So please welcome to the stage Cameron Arnett.
That's the screen stage.
Yes.
We've been having all kind of technical issues this morning, so I want to warn people right now. It's like a love-hate relationship with technology. So we're working that thing out, man. Benjamin, thank you so much for allowing us to be here. Love your work, love your presence, and it's a great thing to be around you, brother.
Well, I feel the same way. And like I said, you just early on, a few years ago when we first met, you had this incredible aura about you that you had such a great confidence. And in this industry, as you know, I mean, actors, my gosh, they're so full of themselves, but I saw something just so different in you, and that something that it was a kindred spirit. It was just the idea of making a difference in the world with what you have in your hands. And I saw that in you. And there was such a joy in your heart, and the light was just shining all around. And I saw how much you cared for others, as well as, what I love about the Christ Over career. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's not just for acting. It can kind of filter into all of our lives. And so if you're not an actor, it also affects you. Christ Over career is such a strong statement. And I love that you set the standard for that. I want to say also, before we continue, that we also have live comments, and you guys can ask questions for Cameron. You can post those. I'll try to get to them. We may not get to all of them. But right now we've got Justina Page, we've got Teresa Westbrook, we've got BJ, Cameron's beautiful wife. She's on board. Yeah. She's here. And we've got, we've got Amanda Llewellyn, who is one of the producers, the writer also. And we've got her on board. We've got Teresa Westbrook, Deborah Moore also is here. Hey, Deborah, how you doing? So we've got lots of people on. I can't read all the comments. There's lots of people. Oh, Sue Ellen is here. Sue Ellen Roberts, who's executive producer. She's here. So we've got Cindy Navarro. We've got Carol. We've got, I said Justina here. Yes. So you guys, Wendy, we've got more. And they're constantly being added. So yes, thanks you guys for joining. And I am so excited to talk with Cameron. And I'm just going to share just really quickly some photos here, because I want you guys to see really what Cameron has done. I mean, just some of the things
God has done
involved in has been incredible. I talked about Nefarious earlier. But you've got a couple of series running on PureFlix. Running the Bases was huge. I mean, that was out in theaters. I mean, tell me a little bit more about some of these roles.
Wow, man. The reality of the situation is that God has done so much, and the testimony of what he's done is just phenomenal. You just can't make this stuff up. But I've been extremely privileged to be able to be part of all of these great films, and God has just opened doors that go beyond my abilities, go beyond my my know-how. He opens the doors and allows me to use the gifts that he gave me to represent him. And when you see all these photos, all these pictures, and there's so many, beyond this, that it's really a testimony of God's faithfulness.
Yes.
He acting kind of chose me twice. I never thought I'd be doing this again, but here I am on the Christian side and doing it. And God has made so many things happen in what people would call an impossible way. And man, I'm so grateful. There's so much that we can talk about, but that's what you see when people look at this stuff, man. I want them to come out of it with an understanding that God is faithful. You don't have to sell your soul. You don't have to do all these things that the world says has to be done. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the opposite. When I left Hollywood and for where I am now, and to see what God is doing, it's just mind blowing. And so I'm just grateful is not even big enough a word.
Yes. I hear. Well, tell us a little bit about how you started, because I know you were born as a Haitian native, but how did you come over to the States? How did you start? How did acting first grab you?
Well, the way that it first grabbed me was that, you know, I was a pre-med, pre-law student in college, played football, that kind of thing. And during one summer, I was working at a hospital doing EKG and respiratory therapy and that kind of stuff. And I wanted to do something just for fun. And so I entered I entered one acting and modeling and that kind of stuff, a competition. And I ended up winning the competition, which opened the door to all of what we're seeing right now. I never knew this was something that I had a gift or a talent in, and I did it for fun, ended up winning. And so I entered maybe about another 9 or 10, whatever it was, and end up winning like maybe 8 out of 10, right? And so it kind of just broke the trajectory from the whole medicine and all that kind of stuff. And before I knew it, you know, I was, like I said, I was playing football. I was, you know, very muscular and that kind of stuff. So I had to like lose all that muscular weight in order to do certain things. At least I thought so at the time, which is what they had told me to do. And so I did that. And I ended up just doing a lot of commercials in Miami, started out in Miami, University of Miami. That's where I was. And, you know, it just matriculated to, you know, Miami, New York, and everything else. And so I find myself now on the other side of Hollywood here in Atlanta, acting, you know, in representation of Christ, using the gifts and the talents that he gave me to declare his name. And it just couldn't be any better.
Well, I want to say, because I was so impressed with a lot of the secular work that you did before you even started doing faith-based. And I mean, I think it's important for people to kind of understand what you've done. And, you know, I didn't know you were on Star Trek Next Generation. That was a humongous show. I mean, it kind of like created these mammoth careers.
Yeah.
And you were one of those. I mean, I think that all the things that you did back then, and you were, you know, very young. Was that one of your first roles?
It was, I wouldn't say one of my first roles, but it was at the beginning of my career, you know what I'm saying? Meaning that I had done a few things before, like I said, a lot of commercials, you know, a couple of different roles on other things. And so what was funny though about Star Trek, you know, is I was a Trekkie, you know what I'm saying? And so I was being on set and walking on to the Starship Enterprise. It was like a kid in a candy store, right? I'm telling you, I'm walking around, gazing around like, you got to be kidding me. How in the world did I get here? You know? And so being an ensign, got to basically fly the Enterprise, that kind of thing. And what an experience, man, just to see, just for God to open the door to what would have been really a childhood dream of ever being on a show like that. So it's one of my fondest memories.
Oh gosh. I mean, and I get that. I mean, because to first of all, be involved in the talent of acting and then be in a show that you've always enjoyed or followed, you know, you're the biggest fan. It's got to be an incredible trip. Now, talk about these two, because these are large shows too.
Yeah.
In the 80s and 90s. So was this a continuation before you went into faith-based?
Yeah. This is definitely way before faith-based. I don't even think faith-based was something that people even knew about at the time. I don't know whether it was going on or not. Looking back, of course, you understand the beginning of Hollywood, how that was really a God move. You understand, you know, people like the Cristiano brothers that were like really the grandfather of all of this stuff. And, you know, at the time, we may have not known of them, or I may have not known of them, but they were probably doing a lot of things that, you know, that you see the culmination of now, you know, David A.R. White, Kevin Downs. Those guys came out of the whole, you know, Cristiano brothers doing their films. But at this point in time, man, I had no clue about that. I was barely a Christian myself. I don't even remember or not, because I didn't get saved till I got saved in 1980, but I got converted in 1985 when like things really, really, really changed. And so in the midst of that was when I started doing this kind of stuff. So I was a new Christian. As a matter of fact, the first uh, um, competition that I told you that I went after when I was in doing the whole medicine thing, that competition was when I met someone who was saved, who convinced me. I don't know how, I don't know how God did this, but convinced me to sing a song on stage about Jesus.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I got introduced to Christianity, is saying yes to getting on stage, singing about Jesus that I didn't know, but then befriending this person and beginning to find out who this guy really was. And I fell in love with him. Unfortunately, after that point in time, the only person that I knew in college that was, quote unquote, a Christian was someone who was a religious Christian. And so I ended up going to church with him. And for 5 years, though I had given my life to Christ and I was saved, I didn't know how to live saved. And so it was a torment. I mean, I was like living two lives. And that's why I said in 85, I got converted and everything changed.
Wow.
But that's how I got into this. So the whole Miami Vice and Equalizer, all that was while I'm learning what Christianity really is, and God opening doors and making things happen. It's all happening simultaneously.
Well, you went on and you, what I love is that you kind of switched over and you started doing more faith projects and some really large mammoth projects. I mean, that are in your repertoire here. I mean, just incredible projects working with some of the top actors. Tell us a little bit about some of these other films.
Wow. I see you have there The Challenge of Disaster and Saved by Grace. Again, two powerhouse kind of diametrically opposed, really, in the sense of what they were about. But Challenger was phenomenal. What a great story. It tells the story of the Challenger disaster that happened, but from the engineer's perspective, which was something that you don't ever really hear about, how the engineers knew and understood, and they were the ones that were warning everybody, don't make this trip. It's not going to work, and here's why. But the money situations, the behind the scenes, and all the promises made that allowed people to take other people's lives for granted. And that's what that story is. And I love the story. I love the people that I got to work with. Nathan Van Minden. I loved how it came across, and what a powerful and needful story for people to understand, because behind the scenes of so many things that are being done today, it's the same kind of thing. And we have to really get involved in every aspect. As Christians, we ought to be involved in every aspect of life, because situations need a Christian heart and mind that's going to make the right decision for people.
Yeah, and no matter where we're at, if if we're on a set and if it's a secular production, we are that light.
Yeah,
we may be that only light.
That's exactly
on
right.
a secular set, and sometimes people don't understand that. Yeah, as an actor, they think, well, you need to leave Hollywood, get away from Hollywood, but yeah, it's a dark industry, but we can be a light. Well, one of the things that I want to also talk about is just the the bulk of projects, and they're so different. So I Still Believe was a great film, and I know you didn't have a humongous role, but a pivotal role in that film. And Angels Unaware. I mean, some of the stuff that you've done has just been phenomenal. And, I'm in awe, because just seeing your work throughout, and then going on and seeing what you've been able to do as someone that's a person, not just an actor, but how you have affected people, because you don't just act, you teach, and you speak, and you try to convey that light and that goodness and the kindness and the things that are all important to us as believers. You try to convey that to others.
Well, before we are anything else, before we do anything else, we are someone. And there's no greater role that I play than being a son of my Father, right? There's no greater role that I get to to place myself in than being Christ in my skin. And so I'm a minister of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's who I am, and that's what I do. And so I tell people all the time, this is not just something that I do. I am being who I am. And so whether I am a doctor, whether I'm a lawyer, whether I'm an actor, whether I'm a truck driver, whatever it may be, I am a son of God first. And so whatever avenue that we find ourselves in is just a field that we're sent into to proclaim Christ, to exemplify Christ. And so if that's not first, then we end up being gobbled up by whatever arena that we're in. And people have a stigma of acting and entertainment being this upper echelon thing. But the reality is that if I'm a truck driver, I can't get taken in by the lifestyle of the truck drivers. I have to be one who brings the lifestyle of Jesus to them, because everyone, no matter where we are, no matter where they are, needs salvation. And so that's who I am first. And I don't think of acting as something that is this major thing. I'm only doing it because I believe, and God has shown without a doubt, that this is where he wants me to be.
Yeah.
When he wants me to be somewhere else, I'll be wherever that is.
There you go. Well, let me ask you this. How did you first meet the Llewellyns? They are the writer, director, producer team of Struck. How did you first meet them?
Well, I think, I'm not sure if I knew Wes before. I may have met him, knew about him before, but I met Wes really on the set of Champion. He was a cinematographer. Oh. Beautiful movie. Well done. Directed by Judd Brennan, and wonderful film. And he was able to structure that thing so well pictorially, as a cinematographer. Make you or break you, right? Wes is phenomenal, and also a phenomenal director. But that's where I met him, and met Amanda shortly after that, because Amanda came onto the set, and we were in transportation, and I'm telling you, we were in transportation going back to do a scene, and Amanda was on the bus with us, riding back, and I thought to myself, man, this redhead over here is crazy. Okay, this girl is on another level, because she gets it, and I deal a lot prophetically as well, and I can see her prophetic mind going, and I'm like, man, this she gets it, but because of her being prophetic, she's so on point.
It's a different level.
People have a hard time taking truth that bluntly, but I love her, and so from that point on, we got to really know each other and the heart of the people behind the truth of what they say. And it's been a beautiful marriage, and I'm looking for it, the continuation of it, because I know we're just getting started. And, I got an opportunity to do another little something with them before, and got a chance to work with them. But this time we're working. And it's underwater. I mean, these guys are so good at what they do. Let me just step back for a second and say this. There are so many things that we go through in life that's really a preparation for where we're going, that you can see that in the lives of the Llewellyns. So much of what they did prior was really preparing them for who they are and where they're going, where they are now. And that's why I say I'm really looking forward to all of this, because all of us really, whether we know it or not, man, we're just getting started. God is taking over the entire arena of arts and entertainment. He is making the whole world the pulpit of speaking the gospel, and exciting thing to be involved in, and they're right in the midst of it. Yeah, that's a picture of us right there, right? We were in LA. Yeah, we were in LA, and actually won an award for underwater, and there's the whole gang right there.
Yeah, there they are. Yeah, that's and you guys are all three together there in the back, back left. Yeah, that's funny.
And that's that flaming redhead right there.
Yeah, there she is. Look out, Amanda's on the set.
Look out, man! I'll tell you what.
Yeah, that's so great. That's so great. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's been a joy to see them work together. There's such a great dynamic between them. I've just been honestly just amazed at how they work together, and they've been doing it for so long. But there's not a lot of married couples, I think, that can do that. And so they have a special way of working, I think works so well for Struck. Well, let's shift a little bit. I want to talk a little bit more though about your upcoming film, because that's incredible. Tell us a little bit about The Forge.
Obviously, you want to get me in trouble.
Well, just a little.
First of all, I'll say this: working with the Kendricks is just a beautiful thing. You're talking about married couple, you're talking about brothers, and so the connection, the way in which they work, how they work off of each other, how everybody takes care of a certain thing and does it with excellence. You're talking about Alex, you're talking about Steven, but you also talk about Shannon. And so all of those three and how they bring this stuff, how they make it work is a lesson in itself. But getting the opportunity to work on The Forge, what a great ensemble of actors. You're going to see some old faces and some new faces that are going to blow you away. Just be on the lookout. It's a powerful story, and I can't say too much more about it, but this is going to be one that needs to be seen, because what it's about is the heart of God and the very crux of the matter that we are as Christians.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, I tell you, I know for me, I'm very excited about it because I followed the Kendricks. I love all their films. But here's the thing that people may not be aware of, because this is what to me, and it may be different for you, but for me, this film put you on the map. This is the one, Overcomer. When I saw that film and I saw you for the first time, and I don't know if I didn't know you at that point. I think when I first saw the film and I saw that role, and I was like, man, that is such a powerful role to do everything from a hospital bed. And there you were. And every scene was so captivating and powerful. Tell me a little bit about that, and then we'll get right into Struck.
Okay. Well, this is a good segue to Struck, because sometimes we as actors, we clamor for those roles that are like life-changing, right? As actors, we want to do something that we can really bite into and really create and become and get and lose ourselves in and that kind of stuff. And you don't always get that kind of material, or you may be in a great film, but maybe the role itself may not have that kind of nuance to it. And so Thomas Hill was one of those roles, that this guy is the kind of Christian that we all should be, and though the dire circumstances and all these issues that happened prior and where he was now, but the joy and the life and the love and the reverence and the just the God excitement of being his son is so kinetically on fire in this guy. And it was quite a joy to play him, because I could connect to that. This is who I try myself to be every single day of my life. The difference is that that I'm not blind, thank God. Okay, but so playing that blind character and bringing or exuding that kind of joy and belief and trust in God was such an exciting thing to do. And I'm believing for a prequel to Thomas Hill. So be in prayer, and if you got Alex's ear, go talk to him.
There you go.
I would love to do a prequel to that. But the bottom line is that was such a great character to lose yourself in, because that's where you can lose yourself and also take it home and mimic those traits.
Yes.
I love Thomas Hill.
Yeah, and I love that scene with you and Alex where that relationship is really strong and powerful, because it really shows, like, yeah, you can lead a Christian life and you can say you're a Christian, but is that your identity? What is your identity? Is it Christ, or is your identity just who you are, who you say you are? I love that scene between you guys. Well, I want to get on and talk about, because to me, and knowing some of the roles that you've played, I just think Asa is such an incredible role. And you guys, let me just say this. When I saw, I was there, and I'm also a producer, so I've been involved with a lot of things here with the series. But when I saw Cameron in that makeup chair, and he was getting his hair done, and he got his costume on, you guys, he took on a whole nother persona. I mean, he became Asa, and I could just see his face just changed. It was amazing with that transformation. I cannot wait for you guys to see this. So tell us a little bit more about the character of Asa.
Wow. Asa is, again, one of those roles that almost come to you once in a lifetime kind of a deal. Asa is this gregarious, he's smart, he's rich, he's gregarious, he's the life of the party. If you ever wanted to be that, part of that kind of party, and he's the kind of guy that if you were in the world and you wanted somebody to have your back, it would be Asa, because Asa is wild. And the thing about Asa that we kind of run into right now is we're just getting started. You don't really even see what he's going to become yet. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing the preliminary Asa, even in this, but the character is so, and the word that keeps coming up to me is gregarious, man. He is full of life, death life. He's full of, he's insane. But you kind of like hate to love to hate this guy, and I can't wait to further, go into the whole depth of this character, because it's going to be something that's going to, I think, revolutionize the way or the perspective of what can be done in a Christian setting.
Yes.
He's a made up character to the real character of Noah, and so we get to explore certain things from his vantage point, and that's what I think makes him so exciting, is that we get to see the inner workings of what could have been, the if aspect of what's been happening in that life. And man, I can't wait to continue to bite into that, because he's something else.
He's such a great character, and he's, like I said, he's Noah's nemesis, but they grew up together, so they've known each other forever. But now times have changed, and their relationship changes. What's so phenomenal, I think, about Struck is that we see the story of John D. Morris, who's a real life geologist, Indiana Jones guy who's struck by God to find the ark. But you also see Noah and what his world was like pre-flood, before he was called to build the ark. And then you see, of course, how it was built and all these things. But Asa, we don't know much about Noah. And we know he had 3 sons. We know he had a wife. We know all those things. But that's it. I mean, there's not a lot about his life. So Asa is this incredible character, you guys, that comes in and just challenges Noah. And we know also from the New Testament, Noah was an evangelist. So he was trying to get as many people on that ark as he could. They thought he was a little crazy, a little cray-cray, but
but they found out.
Yes. So I want to, I promise this. And I don't think, Cameron, you've seen the full scene yet, but we've got something to share with everybody. It's the full scene of Noah and Asa. Tell us a little bit about this scene.
And again, in remembrance, like the background that Benjamin gave, Noah and Asa grew up together. They were tight, and they ran together and that kind of thing. And so, he's losing his best friend, if you would. He has an animosity towards God because he feels that God is taking his best friend. Who's he going to run with anymore? And so Noah wants to be able to build the ark. He's gotten the command from God, and he comes to Asa, and Asa is not having it. And so let's go ahead and take a look at it.
We need to get out of this door! Maybe we should go back! No! No, we've come too far!
We did that.
Yes. And you. And you, I remember. It was you.
Some wine for my friend.
No, thank you.
Some water then.
Yes. Thank you.
To our children.
To our children.
I still can't believe that Shem and Anatu are getting married.
My son is very blessed, for sure.
The wedding plans are coming together.
Yes, but I am not here about the wedding. I'm here for another matter. I have the other wood, the small timbers, but I need the largest timbers for the interior supports. You own the forest that has them. They need to be cut and dried.
No.
Hey, sir, I can pay you well for them, like I always do. My men can come by tomorrow and then
No.
You're serious?
I will save your life, Noah.
No, Asa, no.
You started this endeavor. Hiring workers, buying building materials. It was good for business and the city. But I am not going to allow my daughter to marry into a family that is building a ship for fools.
It's not foolish. It is obedience. I serve Yehovah, and I do what he says.
Noah. How long have I known you?
Since we were very young.
Some 450 years.
Yes, at least more or more.
That time, I never thought of you as a madman. Now, you have some strange ideas about the universe and your God.
Yehovah is God.
Noah.
And I told you, he's bringing his judgment on the earth to cover it completely with a flood.
So you believe?
Asa, Yehovah is going to flood the world. And I was commanded to build this ship. I need those timbers.
It is lunacy. You know it, Noah.
Yehovah, I follow him and him alone.
If you are no longer worried about your reputation, think of your sons and your family name.
My name is Sword.
I see.
You are going to be family soon. Please, Asa, I beg you again. If you say yes, I will petition Yehovah.
No! I will not give you those timbers. No, Noah.
Yehovah owns everything we see. He will provide me those timbers.
Those timbers are mine. You will not be getting them from me.
So you believe.
Wow.
Oh, that's going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh. That was such, it was such a difficult scene to shoot. We had some technical issues that day, and I think one of the cameras messed up, and it was a difficult scene because of the blocking. There was a lot going on. And then as I said earlier, I think I mentioned this earlier, this is just a glimpse into the powerful work on this series, but you saw the green screen, the door that's open. That was a green screen. There's going to be a city behind there that they're working on now. We've actually hired an incredible effects artist that is doing the composite work and putting those backgrounds in there. So, but I mean, most people, the public, will never see what we just shared, but we wanted to share it because we're talking to you here. And so, what's your first impressions?
Well, like I said, the opportunity to play that kind of character and to take it long term. What I love about series is that you get to really build and grow and become and dive into. And Asa is just one of those characters that I can only imagine what he'll be by season 3 or 4 or 5, because he is on another level. And what I love is, again, that connection, because the connection between him and Noah is kind of really complex. They have a love for each other, they have a bond, they have history, but now they find themselves on two different sides of the spectrum because of this God intervention in Noah's life. And yet there's still this, and I love how you said the frenemy going on. You can never put something on the other side of Asa being manipulative, being a little dirty, even though he has that grin, he has that love for Noah, he's always trying to cut his legs from under him, kind of a deal. And so we get to see what that's like and how they interact. And man, I'm telling you, I can't wait for the public to actually see that kind of life happening.
Yes, it's almost like a sibling rivalry.
Yes.
They've been very competitive all their lives, but they have this friendship that goes deep. Their son and their daughter are getting married. These are families that know each other. But, Noah has been struck by God. He has this plan to build this ship. And I love how your character says, well, wait a minute, now it's getting too real, because you've been building this thing. And it's been great for the city. Yeah, it's been great for workers and business. But you're getting a little crazy.
You got, God, you gonna follow who? What? Come on, man. Exactly. I thought we were about to make some more money. That kind of thing.
And you can tell that's where he comes from. That is Asa all over, But I love it. So how did you, people ask me this all the time. Well, how did you research for Noah? And there's only certain things, I know a little bit because I could read Noah, in the Word of God and what's in there. How did you research for Asa?
Well, that's the thing, when it comes to Asa, you get an opportunity to really create, because it's kind of out of thin air in a sense. However, you get to, pluck from here and pluck from there. You've seen aspects, because when you take a read and understand the relationship between the two, who they are to each other, you kind of pluck aspects of who this person is from different people, from different roles you've seen other people do, even roles that you've done yourself, different parts in that you kind of make a composite of that creates and becomes this person. And I think is why I want to continue with him so much, is because there's a piece of who he is that's still going to be discovered, because the relationship of him and Noah in the background, and all of how this God now comes in between, there are all kind of things that are going to come out of that, that are going to be discovered in that, the jealousies and the envying and, all those kind of things are going to happen that we haven't even gotten, close to yet. And so he's a work in progress and discovery, but how you go about it is by really understanding the relationship that now, and where you've seen parts and pieces of this guy and other people in other places, and how you bring it in as a composite and roll with it and lose and know Asa is a guy that you have to lose all your inhibitions about. He's out there, you know. So
Well, it's such a pivotal role and a fascinating character because, like you said, it brings the dynamic to what what people can imagine what Noah lived through, what he did, and who he was, and how he had to struggle to build an ark in an area in a time where there was no faith. These people, the Bible said it was a very evil time. And, it's interesting because Christ says in Matthew 24 that as in the time of Noah, that the end times will be. So, it may get a little bit dicey here.
You get a little crazy. Yeah. Yes. We ain't seen nothing yet, as they say.
No, I don't think so. I think there's more to come for sure. Well, I want to talk a little bit more too about just, I think that people need to realize that there's more to Struck. And what I like about the character of Asa, that he will continue on. Now you think, well, wait a minute, the flood comes and everyone is killed except for the 8 people on the ark. But I don't want to give too much of it away, but Asa is still there and he's still going to be a part throughout the series. And so it's just going to be an incredible thing. And I think I hope people understand that going on. But just like Forge, we can't the Forge, we can't release too much information because
only so much we can
give it away. Yeah. But it's like, and the thing about it is that you can kind of see with this, this was actually, we shot that during another segment of the series, but we used a lot of green screen. So there's a lot of things going on in the background, even though we shot a lot of this about a year ago. There's still, we've got CGI artists and background and composite artists that are working on this. There's a lot of special effects. I urge you guys to go to YouTube and look at the Snow Day video because it kind of shows you the behind the scenes of how all the layers happen and so forth. And it's real important that people kind of understand. I mean, it's a lot of work doing all this stuff. But hey, I want to talk to you more though, a little bit about beyond Struck, your career, and you have this amazing, lovely lady, BJ. And if you guys haven't met BJ, you need to, because in her own right, she, I mean, she's a dynamo. I've seen her on stage. I've seen her teach and speak before. What a dynamic lady. And you guys are, I talked about Wes and Amanda, but you guys are this powerhouse couple as well. Tell me a little bit about what you guys do behind the scenes. Maybe people don't know about.
Well, people see all the time these hats behind me, and the concept of who we are and what we do is something that God gave us. Many hats, one mind. We do many things, so we wear a whole bunch of different hats. We wear we have our hands in so many different things, but only one mind governs it, and that's the mind of Christ. And so we don't compartmentalize life. Life belongs to God, and everything that we touch has to be touched His way and has to be touched for His purposes. And so everything that we're involved in is about not only being an example of Him, but saving the lost and discipling the saved. So whether we're speaking, whether we're acting, whether we're in our businesses as far as entrepreneurship, whether we're raising people, whatever it may be, number one, we're doing it with His mind. We're doing it together as husband and wife, and we're doing it understanding that the mission and the vision and the purpose and the reason why God put you here is to be His representative in your skin. We are ambassadors of Christ to the church and to the world. And so as we touch everything, it has to be with holy hands for the purpose of reconciling the world back unto Him. And that's really the bottom line of who we are. Especially when when you think about also you deal with being a husband and wife, I speak to my wife all the time from the perspective of that intimacy, that oneness, not only of what we do, but of course of spirit and of mind. And we live it in a way sometimes that's kind of unnerving to people, because we are a Proverbs 31 family, husband and wife. And so we believe in, you know, a way that God has instituted for husband and wife to be. And so sometimes the world has so infiltrated the church that we don't recognize the rightness of a husband and wife, and so it becomes unnerving. But I will venture to say that a lot of people have been blessed and recalibrated, if you would, by watching our lives and how we live it, and that's, you know, really a testament of God.
You guys are a shining example of what it should be. And I think it's a testament to so many to see you guys and working together. I mean, I love seeing that in couples, and it's an encouragement because there's in this dark world, there's such a negative stigma with marriage, but you guys make it work, and you shine the light so brightly, and separately and also together. Well, listen, I cannot believe we're almost done, and it just flew by. So we're going to have you back, because I want to talk more about Christ and career over career. I want to talk about a little bit more about Struck and Asa, but we have run out of time. So Cameron, thank you. This has been a joy. I've enjoyed sitting down with you and just chatting a little bit more. And, you know, we didn't have a lot of time on set, you know, but, you know, I just enjoy this time. This is my time to share with you. But listen, thank you so much. Thanks for coming today.
Man, thanks for having me. And of course, as the series goes on, we'll have a lot more time to do this.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Man. All right. Thanks, man. Well, you guys, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that we had a chance to speak with Cameron. What an incredible guy, and so talented, you guys. You know, you just saw a glimpse, like I said, but wait until you see him in some other scenes. He is powerful, and so privileged to work with him. But listen, I've got to tell you guys about a couple things really quick before we go, and we don't have much time, so I got to hurry. Listen, so I want to tell you a little bit about a new contest we're doing. It's called Mugstruck, and you can go to strucktheseries.com/contest, and let me put that up for you guys. And you can go online and enter the contest. And here's the cool thing. We're giving away 2 mugs, the Struck by God mugs. The more you do, the more chances you have to win. You can like us on Facebook, you get 2 entries. Like us on YouTube, you get 2 entries. Like us on Instagram, you get 2 more entries. And if you become a Lightning Club member, you get 5 extra entries. So the more you do, the more you like our socials, the more chances you have to enter the contest, and the more chances you have to win. So make sure you do that. Spread the word, get the word out. Like I said, go to strucktheseries.com/contest. Find out more about it. Enter today. It's going to be really fun. And I love my mug. I love it. I'm here. It's toasty right now, so it's wonderful and warm during the middle of winter. So it's the perfect time to enter the contest. But listen, also I want to tell you guys about the Struck merch. And right now, for just a couple more weeks, you can use the Struck 10. You want to make sure you use the Struck 10 promo code, and you again can get merch with 10% off. And we're only going to do that for a couple of more weeks. So that's about it. But listen, make sure you check out the shirts, the apparel, the hats, the embroidered hats, the mugs. Like I said, there's so many different things, but you can go to strucktheseries.com and you can click on merch, and you can see all the merchandise there. It's really wonderful. You want to do that, and then take part of that promo code while it still lasts, Struck 10. All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks again so much for joining us today. Really appreciate this. This has been just incredible for me. I've enjoyed it immensely, and we will see you next month. We appreciate you. God bless. We'll see you soon.